I wonder what the difference is between a squad and a tribe. Like, do you need a certain number of people for it to count? Because I have like 2. Hi, it's me, JD, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be doing cards for our friends, our tribe, our squad, our BFFs, our wolf packs. Friends are the family we choose. So if you've got good taste, stay tuned. The first card we will be making is a really modern card using rectangle shaped dies. I'm gonna first build my background with some distress inks, and right away I had this really great idea in my mind that I'm gonna make this card using shape dies, and it turned out to be the most complicated card. I mean, it's not that complicated in theory, but in execution it took a lot longer than I thought. But if you have the time, it really does have a cool effect. So what I did with my shape dies is I took them all, and I'm going to make one giant die with them. And so I'm using painter's tape to tape all of the rectangle shaped dies together, and then I'm going to place that on top of my beautiful background. And so when I run it through my manual die cutting machine, I'll have a bunch of little rectangles. And so the hope is that once I run it through my die cutting machine, that it will all stay in one piece and not come out like a bunch of different rectangles and all tangled and messed up, because that'll ruin the effect. Here's when I realized that I use really fine dies. Like, I should have used a thicker die or taken some out in between each die so I could have thicker rectangles, because it came out cool looking, you know. I'm all proud of myself here, but then I realized, oh my goodness, for what I had planned, I'm gonna have to get 2 different cards now. So what I'm doing is I'm taking each rectangle die and then just splitting them up so I have 2 cards, and I'm just going back and forth and putting a rectangle die between each. And so that took like 5-10 minutes. And I have glue all over my fingers because the rectangles on one side are so thin. But hey, all for the name of crafting, right? So whoever gets this card, I hope you realize all the work I did for it. And so I wanted a matching sentiment with the same ink blending, and so I just did that really quick on a scrap piece of paper, and then I'll run that through my die cutting machine. And I like that this die has like a shadow to it. I love when dies do that. They get bonus points in my book for doing that, because it you never know when a die just needs a shadow, just needs to be popped up, and the outline of it really helps to make it stand out. I'm going to glue in the dot in my eye, or the tittle, as Miss Laura Basson has informed me. And then I'm going to trim off some excess because the rectangles came out a little crooked. So I'm just going to play with the optical illusion and just straighten that out and put it on a new card base. And then stick down all of my sentiment because it's coming up. And then wait a minute. Where's the tittle? What is it with me and these little dots over the eyes? I swear, I always lose them. And so thankfully they're easy to recreate. So I just made a new one and stuck it on there. Ha! I win. I don't know why it's a competition between me and the card. It's really not. On to the next card, which is much more simpler, but still pretty cool if you ask me. This dancing girl emoji, or best friend emoji, is so darn cute that I knew it would make for a great card when I saw the stamp for it. And so it's really simple. I just stamp the image in some really intense black ink, and then I'll just color in the girls to match the emoji. And then first I'll stamp my sentiment, which is, I mean, how awesome of a sentiment is that? Don't we all wish we were Queen Bee? You know who I mean by Queen Bee? And then I realized, like, oops, I kind of smudged my card. Of course, there's drama in this card as well. And so I'm just using an eraser to just kind of rub away that smudge there. And it's like it never even happened. And then next I'll take my Copic markers and just color this in really quickly. It's going to be a 1-layer card because I just think the imagery and the sentiment just speak for itself. And I think any girlfriend would love to receive that card. The next card is another 1-layer card, but I really wanted to challenge myself in making a full scene card that's only 1 layer. And so I stamped these little critters, and then I'm gonna stamp the little sentiment on their signs. It's gonna say best friend ever. I think it says best friend ever, yes. It's kind of smooshed, but I'm not doing it again. And so I covered them up, and then I'm gonna do some ink blending, but there must be something wrong with my foam, because like the ink was kind of splotchy in some spots and kind of too dark in other spots. Anyway, I made it work. As Tim Gunn says, I make it work. I stamped my critters on masking paper, and now I'm just peeling off the masking paper to stick them on, because I will be doing some ink blending for the sky. And same thing with the grass. My ink was like a little splotchy in some areas, came out darker in other areas. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you know what I'm doing wrong, please let me know down in the comments and how I can, prevent this in the future. Here's where I hold my breath and hoped that my masked images came out all right, and they did. Yay! Oh god, that is so satisfying when you remove masking paper or stencils. Now I'm gonna color on screen, which I hate doing because I'm not good at it at all. I do very little shading, and it's pretty basic. I'm a basic colorer. Next, I'll take a white gel pen to make stars in my sky. It wasn't originally supposed to be a nighttime scene, but my ink blending came out too dark. Make it work. This next card is for your A group friends, because we're getting fancy with felt, people. Oh yeah. I took a picture of the layout that I wanted before I'm going to glue in. Excuse that text message. Okay, thanks. So I took a picture of the layout I wanted with all of my die cuts. I die cut this off camera just to save some time. And now I'm going to work on gluing this on. And so working with felt is so much fun. However, it's not... felt, it's not that expensive, but it ain't cheap either, girl, okay? So this is only for the A group of friends. This is for people you see all the time. You actually leave a comment on their Facebook page rather than just hit like. Or you actually know when their birthday is, and Facebook doesn't have to tell you. I don't know why I'm in a Facebook mood right now. It might be because my birthday is coming up next month. Woohoo! August birthdays! And so once I've got my background complete, I'm going to glue it to a white background just to help frame it out and give it some stability. And then I'll go to my pre-made stash of sub-sentiments and just pick one out from there. It is such a huge time saver. I highly recommend, if you don't have a lot of time for crafting or you're limited on time, to do this beforehand. And then I'll use some more glue just to stick this down. I stacked about 2 or 3 of these die cuts just to help pop it up. And then I'm making sure not to lose the dang tittle again. For my sub-sentiments, I'm going to use a combination of glue and foam squares because there's some dimension with those flowers. So the foam squares help to even all of that out. And like I said, we got fancy with felt. I think any good friend would be happy to receive this card. And even if your friends aren't card people or crafty people, I think making them a card is a good thing to do anyway. It just shows them that you care. And with all that's going on in the world, we could all use a little more kindness and sharing anyway. That does it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.